Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's King Sway here. Uh, Today I don't have a story to read you guys. As I said in my last video, I was going to ask you guys, tell me about your strongest character. Tell me about how they got that strong. And today, that's what I'm going to share with you. I have two characters I'd like to share with you. One's from way back when, about 20 years ago. Yeah, I know. And one from the recent past that I started playing with my son, Slayer Gaming. My first is, well, he's a god now, but he didn't start off as a god. Back in the days of 3.5, it was time. Blade had just come out. Vampire Hunter D was popular, and so was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So half vampires were, they were a thing, and it was just the coolest thing to me. So what I did was I made a half vampire named Drake Vladas Tepesh. Yeah, I know. I was like 15 at the time. Give me a break. So the DM actually allowed me. Thanks, Matt. Shout outs to my boy Matt. He allowed me to be the offspring of the actual Dracula in Dungeons and Dragons, So we got up to level 15, me and my group. We fought a Titan, a literal Titan, like the 3.5 Monster Manual Titan. And it says right in there that Titans and the gods don't get along, kind of like in Greek mythologies and whatnot. I didn't think we were prepared for this. Like I said, it was me, I was a warrior. Eldritch Knight didn't really exist then. It was a prestige class, and we hadn't really dealt too much with prestige classes, so I was a warrior and a wizard. We had a flat out wizard. We had a cleric. We had another warrior and a rogue. So we're fighting this Titan, and I have all the vampire abilities and everything. So on my turns, I was biting him to, feed on him. The first thing the DM said was, you feel a surge of energy and power flowing into you as you feed. When that happened, I looked at my other players, and they looked at me, and we just all got this sinister grin, like, dude, you just messed up saying that. So what happened was the entire combat, we did what we could so that I could just I had to keep moving from spot to spot, but I kept draining the Titan of blood. I drained him as much as I could. Now, a Titan is much bigger than a 6 foot tall dude. So I drained as much as I could. I threw up some, and then I kept draining, alcohol poisoning, blackout drunk, whatever. I'm pretty sure more than a few of you guys understand what I'm saying. You've had those nights of partying. You drink, you throw up, you're woozy for a little bit, and then you go back to drinking. That's pretty much what was happening. So we won, and now I have the full powers of a Titan on top of what I'm doing. The DM looks at me and says, enjoy it, because you're going to burn through those powers. So the cleric and the wizard use research and use their powers to make sure that my character stays with all those powers. So now I'm half Titan. I'm a Titanic vampire, half Titan, half vampire. And then the DM looks at the cleric and was like, good, your god just excommunicates you for helping an enemy of the gods. You no longer are a cleric. So then he looks and goes, can I just pray to him? And he points to me. I'm like, I don't care if you pray to me. So, and the DM goes, yeah, you can pray to him. Well, that's my new god. And that's how I started being elevated into a god. I actually did that whole quest line and mission because it got out that we had killed that Titan, and then the enemies of that Titan became our enemies, and then the allies of that Titan became our enemies. So yeah. But like I said, we did this thing where I got elevated. People were praying to me, and then I went from being a Titan to straight out God. And that was that. I haven't played that character in God knows how long. And it's been a while. My second strongest character is actually vampiric in nature. Verloka. Like I said, 4.0. I've actually, I know that's, taboo. We don't talk about 4.0, but me and my son Slayer Gaming, we convert some stuff over, and one of the races is the Verloka, and then from the shadow races and things like that. I play a Verloka called Dakarn. His name was Dakarn Vendragon. I changed his name to Dakarn Iris Vendragon after he adopted a ghost girl. That's a long story in and of itself. You want to check that out? You want to know the full story on that? It's on fanfiction on my channel, Fanfiction Gaming. Can't miss it. The icon is a man putting his hand on. It's a black and white picture of a man putting his hand on an orc. A friend of mine did that almost 20 years ago, and I've just kept it since. And I decided that would be, considering that was our gaming channel, it'd be great. But Dakarn is a bastard son. He's actually half elf. His mother was human. His father was an elven noble. So when he was born, he was going to be the heir, except his father's wife got pregnant and had his younger half brother. So his mom was cast out, and he was raised to be more of a guard dog of sorts. Guard your brother. He's the real heir. As they got older and everything, Dakarn was the better warrior and whatnot. And Dakarn's brother didn't need to be the better warrior because he always had guards and stuff. So what's going on with that is Dakarn and his father went to stop a dark ritual that was going on. They didn't stop the ritual. What happened was Dakarn's father ended up dying, and the ritual was performed on Dakarn, and he was turned into a Verloka. Well, my son added an element of that I actually was not fond of, because it was a ritual that was done. He added that a demon was injected into me. That's what gave me my Verloka abilities. Again, like I said, I was not okay with that. I felt as though that was taking away part of my agency, because that's not what I wanted to happen. But he hadn't DM'd as much as I had, and to be quite honest, I still don't feel as though I'm the greatest DM. But I allowed it. I didn't want to, snuff his creativity. The way we play is we have a unique system. It's very, like I've been saying in my videos, I power game. I start everybody off at level 4. Not only do I start you off at level 4, you can choose up to 4 classes, and you get all of the abilities of those classes. Now, if you get the hit points of the highest hit points of whatever class you pick, you get the highest spell slots over the class you pick. It's not put together, but all the little perks are put together. So one of my classes was an elemental monk, and I realized that the powers of a monk, are spiritual. So that now I picked to do like an Ichigo thing and go into myself, and it was me fighting against the demon Ragul. I beat Ragul. Well, Dakarn beat Ragul, and Dakarn came out with demon powers, and he could do everything Ragul could do. He and Ragul actually ended up being friends after a while, so that made him even more dangerous, because Ragul could use his powers through Dakarn. But because Ragul was a Balrog, a very young Balrog, mind you, like this dude was just becoming a Balrog, and that's why the cultists could use him. I ended up forming pacts and I ended up being a patron to a number of people. My 2 daughters, Princess Sway and Princess Gamer, were my first 2 player characters that I was a patron for. Actually, one of the earliest stories I did was about how our characters met. If you go back to the earlier stories, it's the Dark Patron bestows his gift. That was about us. So not only do I have patrons, and now, or rather, not I'm the patron. Let me correct myself. I had people praying to me, and that elevated me to demigodhood. That character is still a demigod, because we were doing Dragon of Icespire Peak. We didn't finish that. Again, that's something you can watch on Fanfiction Gaming. My character was summoned, and I had to use. I don't just poof when I'm the DM. I don't just poof my character different powers because I'm the DM. I go by what powers he gained as a PC, so that's what he has. But I was jumping through shadows in the Shadow Realm, and I was doing it at super speeds, using haste and everything, and just trying to go as fast as I could. My son didn't want to finish that one because after that it was his turn to DM, and I wanted Tomb of Annihilation. This is, again, as I say, I power game. This is me power gaming, because the thing is, I could eat souls. This is a power that we agreed that I could have. That Dakaran could eat souls. In Tomb of Annihilation, the Lich, whose name completely escaped, and he's not just on the cover of Tomb of Annihilation, he's on the Monster Manual too for 5.0. Or no, not the Monster Manual, the Dungeon Master's Guide. But his name escapes me at the moment. But he creates gods. He creates dark gods. There's an orb that holds enough souls that can elevate someone to godhood. I knew of that orb, and my character eats souls. I was going to have Dakaran go through that and devour all those souls and just elevate himself up to godhood. We never got that far. My son Slayer Gaming doesn't want me using that character anymore because like I said, not even technically, I'm a demigod that people are praying to and making contracts with for powers. I bestow cleric powers and warlock powers. So I've been speaking at length for a time, so I'm going to cut it here. But that's my story. My two strongest characters, a god and a demigod. And I haven't played the god in decades, but the demigod has been so much fun to play. Not just from a combat standpoint, but from his role-playing standpoint, because he's adopted 3 daughters. 2 of them are my actual daughters, and as I said, I adopted a ghost girl. And again, if you go to the channel Fanfiction Gaming, I know we haven't done anything in a while. I've been busy in life. We've all been busy, and we plan to get back to doing the filming and filming our sessions. But if you go over there, you can see that his interactions with the little ghost girl and how he adopted her, and he treats her like his own daughter. But if you enjoyed the story and you're new to the channel, think about liking and subscribing. If you enjoyed the story and you're not new to the channel, think about liking and subscribing. It's a very small action for you, but it means the entire world to me. It lets me know that people are actually enjoying my content, and it lets YouTube know that people are enjoying my content, and it puts it out there so that those who don't know I'm out there can look me up and say, oh, hey, let's go to this, and they can possibly enjoy my content. So I can spread my crazy stories to other people. I am King Sway, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.